here's Brody Brazil.
Quick shout out for the voicemail line. I'm sure you already know the number, 8334-BRODY. But this reminder, if you've got a question or a comment or any kind of contribution for this YouTube channel, I would love to hear it. I literally listen to every single message, and then I get to play back and respond to the very best ones.
Hi, Brody. This is Sean from Toronto. I've been watching your show on YouTube. It's a great show. You're very insightful shows and very knowledgeable.
Thank you.
Question for you. I've been watching a lot of NFL highlights this year, especially last year, and one thing I've noticed, which is odd, if you ever go back and watch highlights of this year's game so far and last year, you'll realize that if you look, the ball that they use in play, when they're either throwing it or running it, it's a dark ball. It's a dark colored ball. Whereas as soon as a kicker from any team will attempt a field goal, take a look at the ball. It's light brown, looking like the balls from years gone by. Now, I've noticed that a lot of kickers have been hitting 60-yard plus field goals lately, and I wonder if it has anything to do with maybe a different ball they're using for the kickers to attempt field goals, because at this rate, we might have like an 80-yard field goal by the end of the decade.
Right.
That's basically what I wanted to ask you. Enjoy your show. Keep up the good work, and thank you for taking my question.
Sean, thank you very much for the call. I am about to confirm your observations. Now, I can't speak to last season's NFL footballs, but I do want to tell you about this year, 2025's brand new K-ball rules. What are we talking about here? The balls that they actually use for kicking. Not the one that the quarterback's going to snap from under center. I'm talking about footballs that are specifically used for kickers and punters and all of those different situations. Now, we actually have to take this back to 1999. That was the first year that the NFL set aside specific footballs just for kicking purposes. But from 1999 to last year, 2024, these specific footballs were separated and isolated, and they literally have the letter K on them to designate they're for kicking only. But these footballs were only made available to team players and representatives and equipment people only about 90 minutes before game time. So the balls would be on site, the teams would get a look at them, they'd get to brush them up, they'd get to prepare those kicking footballs, but they didn't have them for several hours really or days prior to the actual game. Here in 2025, there's a brand new NFL rule, and that might be the color of the football difference you're noticing, the distance of kickers being able to nail field goals this year versus other seasons prior. Yeah, why are we seeing like a 70-yarder that was nailed in preseason? And how about some 60-yard kicks these days during regular season games that go an extra 10 across the crossbar? So we are seeing farther kicks. All of this makes sense, but you have to understand what's going on here. You can still only use, even though the teams have these footballs well in advance, I'll get to when they were even delivered. You can still only use water or approved Wilson brand brushes and tacky sponges. So the rules don't really change. You can't do up the football any different. It's just that you have more time to do it. And the kickers get to practice with these footballs all week long, 3 of them per game that they'll bring to the actual Sunday game day or Monday night game or Thursday night football game. You can't submerge the football still. You can't apply extreme heat to it. You can't freeze the football. I don't want to dive too deep into the weeds of all the things you can and can't do, but the bottom line is there are still some major guidelines about what can happen to these 3 footballs that you bring. There's also the fact that these footballs, the 3 kicking footballs, K-balls per team, they still get inspected by the officials before game time. So nothing sneaky, nothing's getting past anybody here. It's just that they get more time to manipulate the football to each kicker's specific liking. And again, K-balls can't be used for more than 3 games total. So hypothetically, if Brandon Aubrey had one football for the Dallas Cowboys that he loved kicking all season long, that's too bad. You only get, and these footballs are labeled and microchipped, you only get 3 games with that specific football. I want to go back to some more information from Pro Football Talk. This is when the new rules took place and people were curious about how this would go. So the K-balls have actually been delivered to the teams long ago like during their training camps. Wilson Sporting Goods has delivered now 60 kicking footballs directly to each club for the season. 60 at one time. The K-balls will be branded with a special K and numbered 1 through 60, so tracked and traced and all that. These footballs are identical to the game footballs used on non-kicking downs and will be used exclusively for kickoffs, safety kicks, punts, field goal attempts, and extra point kicks during the game. So remember when I said these teams only used to get the footballs 60 to 90 minutes before actual kickoff? Now they've had them for weeks and months to prepare the footballs how they want. And because of that, here's the main point. Like, we can talk about the color and the appearance of the football looking different, maybe even the shape of it. Do they squeeze the football? Do they make it more of a round shape? Is that easier to kick? Kickers get to practice with these K-balls, the identical ones, during the week. So the same football you'll see being used on a Sunday is the one that they're practicing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with. The footballs, now manipulated with more time, are said to be less slick, right? So they get more time to really make it a matte and a grippable texture, but also an expanded sweet spot on the football. Just a bigger overall area so that you don't have to be so precise with your kick. We've talked about distance. How about accuracy? I wonder if that has also gone up too, just kickers being comfortable with these footballs. And I guess we're mostly talking about field goals and extra points here, but I wonder if punt distances have also gone up too. Pro Football Talk says that these new rules could potentially have universally added 5 to 7 yards of range per NFL kicker. And one example is Cam Little of Jacksonville, who, by the way, might be on my fantasy team this year, might be doing quite well. Might have actually been somebody I didn't draft, but picked up shortly after on the waiver wire. But I digress. Cam Little hit that 70-yard field goal in a 2025 preseason game. And we have yet to see a 66-yarder in a regular season game, but we have seen several 60-plus yard kicks made so far this year. All of those kicks, I shouldn't say all, many of those kicks seem to have the ability to get up to 70 or so yards if they needed to be. Like, they had the distance. They got through the field goal posts with plenty of room to spare. So what's going on here? It could be as simple as this. Kickers have more time with these special footballs to prepare them up right, to do them up special. And what does all this get back to? Increased scoring potential of the NFL. It's something they obviously want. It's something they're aiming for. Is it cheating? Not really. You're just getting more time with the football. And they still have to be approved, and there are still rules and guidelines, which I don't suspect, and I'm not going to accuse anybody of using a different brush than the Wilson brush or putting high heat on the football, which are not allowed to do. There are still some major rules and guidelines, but we're seeing the effect of these rules and these footballs held in advance. Now all of a sudden they're making a difference on NFL gameplay, and to the point of this call, maybe they look different with a different color. I haven't noticed that, but I have noticed that kickers, they've got a lot more range now than they ever did before. So let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. Good thing for football? Bad thing for football? Do you actually care? Does it seem right? Are we setting ourselves up for a controversy somewhere down the road of something somebody did to a football before bringing it to the game? Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, thumbs up down there helps me this video on this channel. And don't forget to subscribe. I would love to see you back here next time.